Hey, what's going on YouTube? Super quick video here. I want to show you an update on the fish room and some of the pickups I got from the MCAS Motor City Aquarium Society auction yesterday. Well, I went there and took 37 bags of fish. Prices were pretty good, and I stayed till the end of the auction and picked up some stuff that I've never seen before that I was pretty excited about. So I'm switching over to a lot of different kinds of live bearers here. So these are black bar endlers. Let's see if I can't zoom in on them at all. And I don't really even know what's up with some of these fish very much. I don't have a great take on them, but there's a lot of endlers in here, as you can see. And these black bar endlers, they look really good. So super excited about these. Those are all males there. But yeah, there's probably 30 of them in this tank. And then switching over here, I don't even know how to pronounce these. Let me zoom in here. I wrote this on the tank. Adosinubis. It's going to be a total butcher. To vary, the blue-tailed goodyead. So everybody got baby brine shrimp just now. So I figured this would be a good time to record this video. So I think there's only 4 here, and these are a Care species, super rare. So hoping I can keep these guys alive, get some live plants in here, and really grow the colony. What you're seeing here is just extra mulm from the sponge filter, just making sure I have a good cycle. So these are brand new tanks. I have a box filter with cycled media and a sponge filter. So I cycle all my sponges in the 180 gallon Apache tank down here. So then I always have extra sponges and filter media for any tank that I set up. So it seems to work great. This tank's very overloaded. If you touch any of those filters, they're going to be nice and slimy. Lots of bacteria on the filters. And it just does a really great job. The fish seem super happy. So yeah, I haven't done a fish room tour video in quite a while, but I do want to make it quick because I got another video coming out here I've been working on, trying to do a voiceover for. Right here, these are a rare swordtail, Xenophabius kilmani, and they are eating the brine shrimp. They seem really happy, doing good. I'm sure they're gonna look really good according to their picture as soon as they get some size to them. So more to come on those. I'm not going to show you all my tanks, but these are the Boisei Maswas that I bred in-house. These would be F1s. Doing really good. They're kind of at the tail end of their spotted pattern. They're probably going to start losing those spots pretty soon. But growing really nice. No issues with them. I sort of combined some of the different blue dolphins here. And these are a new pickup. The MCAS splendens. I hear these are a really nice goodyead. And I wanted to make sure I kept these ones alive so they get a nice seasoned tank. Shout out to Aquarium Co-op. I do like the term seasoned versus cycled. And this would be a very seasoned tank. It's been set up for at least a year now. But it's clean. I did a big water change, but it's seasoned. So I think there's only about 4 fish in here. Looks like they ate most of the brine shrimp already, so they're doing good. And I don't know if I'm going to be able to get much video of these guys. I picked them up only because I thought they were super cool, and I've never had gouramis before. So I'm going to learn. I got 2 gold gouramis. Pretty good size, probably about 4 or 5 inches. And a really nice kissing gourami. And I've been paying attention to them, make sure they're not too aggressive or fighters. And they seem to be getting along really good. The other gold looks to be, yeah, he's behind that sponge filter there. So 3 gouramis, they're in quarantine there. So yeah, this is my mixed tank kinda. Nairi Interruptus Mabunas, real nice fish. Blah blah blah. Tropheus green Maragos, sold a bunch of males at the auction. They got good prices. I was very happy with that. New pickups here. These are another swordtail. So what's really cool about these is they're the same collection point and collection date in Chicago, or in Mexico. And there's some pretty ones in here. Let's see if I can't get them. But they come from 2 different breeders. So I'm hopeful that if I can get these bigger ones to breed with the slightly smaller ones in the future. They come from different people. So that should really strengthen the genetics and bring about a really strong swordtail that's worth breeding and worth selling. So really excited about these ones. A wild swordtail, I believe. And then next to them, I believe these are another Goodyead, but I am a total noob. Xenotalaca linnaceae. But I bought all these different things thinking maybe they would be the same. I'd be able to put them in groups. So last night was a struggle trying to find places for all these different fish. And we'll see which ones are my favorites, which ones do the best for me. But one thing that I was excited about is I know these different live bears like higher pH water, and that's exactly what I can provide for them. So I said, why not? I'll pick them up. So I picked up these 16 Kenyi. These were a trade. And of course, once I go to zoom in on them, they're going to go hide. But your typical Kenyi cichlid, Mabuna cichlid, those are new. These aren't new. These are Tropheus salangi, and these are getting really close to breeding. My Tropheus salangi breeder group. Looking real good. I cleared this tank out. These were male Tropheus before. So it's sitting empty right now. I'm not sure who I'm going to raise in this tank. Probably some babies. Sunshine Bangas, doing real good. I took some males to do some trades yesterday, and they're growing out real good. At first, they were having problems because they love to pick on the plants and all this Valsenaria. But one thing about Valsenaria is it is a hardy plant. So it has gotten to the point where it can handle the amount of abuse these peacock cichlids can throw at it, and it looks really awesome right now. I'm real happy with it. There's also a couple of albino plecos in here which keep it semi-clean. You can see some algae on the rocks, but it's a healthy looking tank, doing really great. Fish are growing good. And blue dolphins, my bread and butter. They did real good at the auction yesterday, real happy about that, and they're looking for more food as always. So let me take a breath here. I don't want to do a full fish room tour video because it'll take forever, but these are the Victorian multicolors, doing really great. Can't wait to get a full-size tank of breeding group of those awesome fish. These are Apache peacocks. Shout out to Joey Knapp. He dropped off some more for me yesterday. He had 4 extra little baby juveniles that came from his breeding pairs, which he got from me. And he didn't really want to raise them up, so he brought them over, and I added them to my group. So we will raise those. And that little guy is a Spilontaneous Tanzania Protomelis. These guys are about ready for their own tank. These are definitely ready for their own tank. Yellow Dragon Bloods. That's a Sunshine Banga Dragon Blood cross. They end up turning out really nice. So I'm going to do another batch of those. And these are Spilontaneous Tanzania juveniles, growing real well. And yeah, moving on. So my pineapple swordtails did breed for me, and I seen one baby, so I just had to save it. So there's that little baby. Not even worth having a single swordtail, but it is worth having. I mean, why not? These are the pineapple swords that bred. So I'll show you Geophagus braziliani, starting to look really good. The male was being a little bit of a bully yesterday, but now they're showing their colors. They seem pretty happy. Looks like he took a little bit of damage in the fight yesterday. Not too bad though. I gave him some pots to hopefully get him to breed here. So these guys are a likely candidate for that 75 gallon I just showed you that has extra room. I just need to add some sand to the tank, and I think that would be a good grow out for these braziliani, because they get pretty big. They get I believe up to 10-12 inches when fully grown. Right now they're about 4. They're in a 40-gallon breeder there. So these are the pineapple swords that did breed for me. A beautiful swordtail. Looks like that one might be pregnant. So I have a real hard time telling when the swordtails are pregnant. I mean, look how boxy they are. I don't feed them that much. I don't overfeed this tank. So I put a breeder box on this tank to hopefully, if I can identify when one of them's gonna lay. The last time there was just some babies swimming around, and there's not enough cover in this tank, and all the babies except one got gobbled up. So over here, that's my lone baby that I saved up at the top. And over here, these are just kind of assorted. There's blue dragon bloods, there's regular dragon bloods, there's OB peacocks. I really don't want to get into this game, but sometimes you get some really beautiful fish and people don't want to raise them up, so I said I'll raise them up. You know, if it's only $10 for a bag of 5 fish, you know, I'll take that chance. It's kind of fun. So most of these came from a trade from Chris Grzonics. And apologies if I said your last name wrong, Chris. You're an awesome dude. And I want to go show off the multis that you hooked me up with upstairs. They're doing great. So I don't think I've ever done a YouTube video in my upstairs tanks, but these are pretty much $1 per gallon cichlids. These are ones that jumped into another tank that I couldn't identify. They jumped out of their breeder boxes, to be more exact, up here. And when they do that, I'm not 100% sure what they are. I mean, I can identify these fish, but I want to be 100% sure, so yeah, we'll see what I do with these. They just end up here if they jump out of their breeder boxes. So anyways, moving on. The purpose of this is to show you my new pickups, but we'll go over everything super quick. I took the 2 big Oscars out of the African tank. I've been meaning to do that for a long time just because I know they don't mix well. Even though it was working for me, eventually it probably wouldn't work. So there's a Venustus holding in here, and other than that, Dimidochromis strigatus, a big dragon blood, and an extra obliquidin. So this is kind of just the extra African tank, 90-gallon. Tropheus chipimbi, future breeding group, growing out, doing very nice. And these are Interruptus fry. I wish I could get a few more Interruptus holders. Daddy. 1 second, Melanie, I'm doing a video. Thank you. Spilontaneous Tanzania babies. My daughter's doing gymnastics down here. And I moved the VC10s down to a 75-gallon all to themselves. So I believe there's 7 or 8 of them in here. And there was one male, I believe this is him, starting to show some color, starting to get his blue. And they have held for me before, but never any viable fry. So this guy right here, he's probably pushing 6-7 inches. And I'm guessing it's a female. Hard to say, but I'm hopeful for them. And I put them with my most prolific breeders, the blue dolphins, right next to them, so that hopefully this guy can show the VC10s how it's done. And he's getting a little long in the tooth, but he just keeps on breeding. So I'm growing out a new batch of Geophagus redhead Tapajos for breeders. And shout out to Bo, who came over here today and bought some Tanganyikan cichlids, as well as one of my big albino bristlenose. That was kind of the bonus fish he got because he spent so much money. So really appreciate it. He bought some Tropheus, a lot of Tanganyikan fish, and he got some quality stuff. I hope you're real happy, Bo. I hope you get some good action out of those breeders and enjoy the fish. And again, this is my tank that I just cannot make happy. Zebra obliquidins. I am considering what to do with this tank next, because the last 9 months have been nothing but I don't lose the fish, they don't die. I've treated it with levamisole, I've treated it for internal parasites, blah, blah, blah. All right, moving on. These are my Taiwan reefs, and I believe I have a female holding in here according to my wife yesterday, so that's exciting. And up here are some new pickups. Finally, we're getting to the purpose of the video. So this Guppy is not a new pickup, but it ended up in one of the bags, which happens sometimes. And there are Julidochromis dickfeldi, there they are. And I picked up 2 different batches from 2 different breeders, and I believe total there's 9 Julidochromis in here, and they're not that big, so I'm excited for them. Excited they can have a nice tank in here, hopefully get some breeding action and put on a little bit more size. They seem pretty happy in here right now. And I also have some Ciptochromis leptosomi blue neons in here that I picked up yesterday. I believe there's 6 of them. And if I know anything about Ciptochromis, there they are. They're all together schooling in the dark corner with lots of glare. So I'm going to let them settle in, probably turn their lights off, and do not bang on that tank with that little baby spoon, please, Melanie. Okay. And here are my Spilontaneous, Protomelis Spilontaneous Tanzania running away. Doing real good. I think there's 2 holding in there. Ruby red peacocks. These are actually the Chismulu Alonacara F1s. And they're not going to show themselves because my daughter was up on the ladder just now. I'm not going to go through every breeder box I have here. But needless to say, things are going just fine. There's fish in every box. Fire Ugandas, I don't even know, Hippo Point salmons, yellow blaze. There are some baby super red bristlenose in here that dad's on the eggs, doing his fan thing. And blue dolphins. These are Dimidochromis strigatus, yellow dragon bloods again, a smaller batch of them. That's probably the last batch of the yellow dragon bloods I'll get. These guys are about ready for a box. These are flamebacks from Lake Victoria, Protomelis Spilontaneous Tanzania babies. These, I was super excited. There's red ram's horn snails in here, and multicolored Victoriae, blue dolphins, Geophagus redhead tapajos, yellow blaze, and I know it looks bad, but it's just the algae. The tank's not dirty, and there's some very big yellow blaze fish in there, and that algae does not hurt them. Eastern Happy, blue collection point. So I did go through every single breeder box on there. Hopefully that was interesting at least a little. Now we're going to get into some more of the pickups. These are not new pickups, but they sold pretty good. These are my Tiger Endlers. Super happy, super healthy. And some of them are just really unique patterns, super shiny. And I have 2 tanks of my Tiger Endlers. And these are my yellow guppies, which I started with just 3 from Solidins. And they're starting to look pretty good. So if you're interested in any of these fish, hit me up, send me a PM. The purpose of this video is not to sell fish though, but if something catches your eye, let me know. Blue Moscow guppies, those were a big hit. They're looking real good, and they're getting some really nice patterns. These are my blue-red metallic guppies, and I finally got the strain going, so they have the real nice red streaks at the top and bottom of the tail. It's not 100% yet. You can see that male is totally not what I'm looking for, but nevertheless, he is a very beautiful fish as well. Here is a new pickup. These were labeled as IFGA purple guppies. And there's 2 males and 2 females in here. And you can see I'm picking at the brine shrimp right now. He kind of doesn't look that good. He's a little hunched up. The other male looks really good too. But I'm excited to have these. Purple guppies is what they were labeled as. And then more boxes. Those are Eastern Happies, ruby green cichlids, and then my red mutt guppies, which there are some beauties in there. You can see that tank is absolutely packed full, doing really well. Another tank of red guppies, kind of mutt guppies. I don't even know if you want to even call them red guppies, but there's some really beautiful reds in there, which I suppose is the purpose of this tank. They did pretty good yesterday. Somebody really enjoyed them. So new pickups. These are snakeskin orchid endlers. Let's see if we can't zoom in on them. So they look similar to the black bar endlers. So they seem a little bit smaller, a little bit more like juveniles. I'm sorry you have to stare at my head while I'm zooming in on these guys. But I don't know, if you're an endler enthusiast and you know anything about these different types of endlers, please let me know. I was just, I like endlers. I've enjoyed the snakeskins, so I figured I would enjoy these. And in here I got some Santa Maria endlers as well. So this is a very seasoned tank full of red cherry shrimp. So I figured the Santa Maria endlers would stand a very low chance of eating the cherry shrimp. So I think there was only 6 or 8 endlers in the bag. So I figured I would put them in here, see what happens. They're gonna get lots of food in here, and yeah. And up here are Limia vittata. These are also known as the Cuban Limia. And these guys were happily munching on their brine shrimp. I'll probably throw a couple caves in here today, make them feel a little more comfortable at home. But I believe these are a very rare live bearer. And I'm excited to have them. They seem pretty cool. So all these tanks, I did a clean yesterday when I came home. Made sure things were as good as possible for the new fish. And it was just a very long night and a very long day. So 22 hours it took from when I woke up to bag fish to when I went to bed at night and got all the fish put away. So yellow blaze lithobates, and I got some blue dolphin breeding group growing up in here. They're getting pretty big. Probably those blue dolphins are approaching the 4 or 5 inch mark now. And this is the lone VC10. I did not put him with the other VC10s because he did not come from the same place, and I'm not 100% sure that he is a true blood VC10 just because I don't have enough experience with the group. I believe he is, but you know, he was in my last video. And this is my Sunshine Banga. He's not looking real good. No breeding colors, but beautiful fish. That's where my Banga group comes from. I used to have a few females, and this is the best mother dragon blood in the entire world. She breeds with any male in here and raises big clutches of eggs, and they're beautiful fish too. I have some more dragon bloods in this room. So these are some of my Tanganyikan, and I just sold a trio of 3 of these, and of course I'm not remembering the name, Lalupais. And the tank was cleaned, rearranged. We added the juvenile Kudarai cichlids in with the adults. So the parents got to be reunited with the babies, which is pretty cool. Doing real good. They got a little bit of a clean yesterday, and the ruby reds are doing great. I took a bunch of males to the auction yesterday, and people were super happy to get them. And in with these ruby red males, I threw a few Victorians, the Omni Ceruleus Nicombe, I believe. You can see them kind of down there. They're the orange blotch, or the blotch type fish. But the males get really pretty, a dark blue with the blotch pattern. So they were ready for a bigger tank to grow out in, and I knew these ruby reds were not going to be very aggressive towards them. So yesterday they got a new home in here. So I was basically combining tanks that I knew were healthy fish to make room for other fish, which I know I need to separate in quarantine. So all my systems, as if you've ever seen one of these videos, they're all separate systems. This entire rack, these tanks are not plumbed together. They are totally separate on totally different water systems. And more blue dolphins. I've been taking these to the auctions and they're doing very well. A big group of blue dolphins is always fun to watch. So there's also plecos in those tanks. We'll go real quick. This video is getting long. Hippo point salmon. There's a couple holders in there. I stripped them a couple days ago. Flamebacks from Lake Victoria. Doing great. These are the Eastern Happy blue strain Lake Victorians. So basically my entire rack here is mostly Lake Victorians. And these are the multicolor Victoriae, which there's only 3 small cichlids in here in a 29 gallon. But they are producing regularly for me, which is amazingly great. Sad part of the fish room. We lost the female. So my koi male has lost his mate. He's doing amazing. He's a beautiful male, so hopefully I can find him a mate here soon. It was a long, drawn-out battle. I treated the tank with everything I could think of, waiting a week in between each treatment, metronidazole, levamisole, general cure, and she just wasn't getting better. She got better for a while. It was probably a 3-month battle, and in the end, she didn't make it. And that's kind of what happens sometimes. It's hard to diagnose fish disease. So, alright, I have some long-tail calicos in here, as well as some super red bristlenose. And this is where all my baby bristlenose come from in this 180 gallon tank. So these are all the offspring. There's probably, it's hard to say. There's a lot of fish in here, and I feed them a can of green beans every other day. And with those green beans, all my breeder boxes also get food inadvertently sucked up into the breeder box. So these breeder boxes just do really well. Nothing but plecos in the bottom. I feed green beans. I do water changes on the 180 gallon, and all the breeder boxes end up getting little pieces of green beans. And I think it helps the fish grow, and it adds another food source consistently when they're hungry. So it's a really great system. It's been working out really amazing for me. And yeah, that's my piping system. I did a T-type thing. Rachel O'Leary kind of gave me this idea, where you have your normal air system that goes around your room with PVC pipe, but if you bring the PVC down, it's just a lot easier for you to hook up all your different airlines, and it makes for a much cleaner look than having all the different airlines just dropping out of the ceiling. So shout out to Rachel O'Leary on that. She is an amazing YouTuber. Check her out if you haven't seen Rachel O'Leary. I mean, I have a lot of YouTubers that I love, and I'm sure I'm going to give them shout outs throughout my YouTube career here. And my newest rack here. It's doing real great. I can't believe it filled up so quick. So 2 weekends ago, I got a lot of shrimp from Tom's Fish Farm. So this is my first try at, not the cardinal shrimp, the Cardinia shrimp. These are King Kong, yellow King Kong shrimp. So these ones prefer a pH right around 6.5. So I had to buy special substrate for them. And of course, they're not showing themselves right now. I believe there's 5 King Kong shrimp in here, but you'll have to take my word for it on that tank. These are my Bloody Marys that I've had forever. Still doing really good. Yeah. And then down here I picked up some more black rose shrimp. For some reason, most of the shrimp are hiding right now. But yeah, so I got 5 different breeders worth of black rose in here. I'm going to have to start separating them out, culling them, and feeding this tank pretty heavy to keep the Neocaridina black rose shrimp line going. So Neocaridina's, which are Bloody Marys, the black rose, I have blues and yellows upstairs, which I'll hopefully show you. They do really well on my water straight as it is, but I'm experimenting with using some of my RO water, which I haven't done a video on yet. I finally got that hooked up. It's not totally the way that I want it. I got 2 3-way valves up here, and I can turn it to change where I want to direct water from. I hooked up, so basically all 6 of my zones for auto water change are now hooked up. One of those can tee off based off those 3-way valves into my RO system. And right now my holding bucket is a 5-gallon bucket. And then when I want to add RO to any of my tanks, I come over here and I take this handmade pump that I did. And it's basically just a power head that you would put in a tank, submersible power head. And I attached a hose. That hose actually came from a diatomaceous earth filter. So look up diatomaceous earth filter. Shout out to Aquarium, the Aquarium Guys podcast. Rob's and Adam and Jim do an amazing job with that. So shout outs to everybody today. But basically that's just a hookup from a diatomaceous earth filter. I've used them before. It's a amazing aquarium tool. Something to get excited about, but just like everybody says, that tool takes a lot of work for cleanup and using, so maybe I'll do a video on a diatomaceous earth filter sometime. But anyways, I grab my pump over there, I bring it over here, which is basically, that pump is just a power head. I'll set my bucket of RO water and I'll dump my remineralizer in there. I bought some salty shrimp in this case if I'm doing the Cardinia shrimp. And I will put the pump in the bucket on a stool, and the end of that pump in the tank. And then I will plug it into an extension hose, and it will pump my RO water from the 5-gallon bucket at a slow rate so it doesn't mix up all my plants into the tank. And all these tanks are set up for automatic water change overflow systems, so I never really have to worry too much about that. So another new pickup here. So I got, these are all new fish. I got 4 blue scallophy, 16 whitetail ACI, doing great. And then yesterday I added from a reputable source 16 zebra obliquidens. So these are all new fish since my last video. Shout out to John Byer and Anthony Naples for the awesome fish. So anyways, 5-gallon tanks, shrimp, shrimp, shrimp. Those are not automatic water change. Everything else on the system is. So Mabunas and Lake Victorian zebra obliquidens. Why don't we just go across? And then these are fire red Uganda Victorians that I bred. These are a new pickup. I'm really excited about these. These are Pracox Rainbow from Pete Durkin and Kathy Durkin. They seem to be doing real well. So one thing I made sure to do is mix my RO for this. My pH comes out about 8, 8.2. And Pracox Rainbows appreciate a pH between, I believe it's 6.5 and 7.5, but don't quote me on that. I don't think they want to go above 7.5. So I just cut my tap water in half with some RO. I added a little bit of remineralizer because it seems like they enjoy a little bit of hardness from my very limited research. And they seem very happy. And they were eating a little bit of brine shrimp, and this is less than 12 hours since they entered the tank. So everything seems to be doing good. So these are all 20-gallon longs up here. Pracox rainbows, my threadfin rainbows are right next to them. And let me tell you, if you've never had threadfin rainbows, when they are displaying these males, trying to get the attention of a female, they are beautiful. It's quite the sight. I believe that guy in the back, he was displaying, and it's pretty cool. He's doing it a little bit now, but when it's full-fledged, what a neat fish. So threadfin rainbows next to them, a tank packed full of blue dolphins. So a lot of water changes in this tank, a lot of food goes into this tank. It's overpacked, I know, but it's working, and it's not permanent. And my beautiful little koi angels that I picked up at GVAC a couple months ago. They've already bred for me twice. Unfortunately, the spawns were both infertile, but they're still getting the hang of it. I'm hopeful that it is a male and a female instead of two females, because it seems like they both get very interested when they lay on that green slate. So I can't wait to raise my first batch of angels. I've been mixing a little bit of RO water into their system just to keep the pH down, give them a better chance to fertilize those eggs. But no success yet, but they're super happy, super healthy. They eat really good. Yellow blaze lithobates that I bred from the ones down below. Nimbochromis venustus. They sold really well at the auction. These are a really beautiful fish. I mean, I can see why the pet stores carry them. These are Tropheus lafubu from Aaron White. I got these at the bingo auction. This is another group of Hippo Point salmon, future breeding group. And I sold my Tropheus elangi smaller group today to Bo. And these are my Lake Antinjo Bosemani rainbows. So I was pretty excited yesterday. I got to pick up from the same breeder another small group. I think there was only 4. So this would be one of my new pickups. Those two guys. And they're about a third of the size of my existing 6 group. And I need more females in here because I believe I have 4 males and 2 females. So I got to add to the group. So that was great. Same collection point of Bosemani rainbows. So it's always great when you can put a collection point to it. And even greater when you can add to an existing group that needs more fish from the same collection point. So I was able to do that yesterday. These are blue-red metallic guppies. And 2 tanks full of them and plants. And going down to the 29 gallons, these are always hard to videotape. So Geophagus redhead tapajos growing up. These are VC10 babies from Josh Cunningham, as well as another hap in there. But they're a little bit skittish, but they always come out to eat. And in here I have Tretz plus Cygnus. I'm leaning down, all the blood's rushing to my head. I can't think of the name. It's a Burchardi type fish, as well as a Julidochromis halembe black in there. And in here this is kind of a mixed tank. These are some yellow dragon bloods, plus some albino Apache peacocks. And just seeing what comes out of this tank. Basically just growing up some hybrid fish. And more blue dolphins. And here are my dragon blood, orange dragon bloods, but there's also some blue Apache dragon blood in here, and I'm excited to start breeding this guy. He's blue, but look at the orange. What a cool fish, huh? So I've had offers to sell him, but I'm gonna keep him. If I'm gonna breed any hybrids, I want him to look like him. And there's no mistake that that's a hybrid fish. That's not natural. I mean, it's not found in nature. Not that it's not natural, but really like them. So looking for more of that. And in here are Dimidochromis strigatus female. Well, blue dolphins for one. And then some hybrid blue dolphin Apaches. There's a couple nice males in there, but we're not getting a look at them. That's basically it. Fire red Uganda. Up here, there's a female holding a huge clutch of eggs in this tank. Look at her jaw. Look how big that is. Poor girl. Victorians are good mothers, I'll say. These are Pundamilla cribensis. Sorry. Took a few of those to the auction just to kind of thin the herd. They didn't sell for that much, but hopefully they go into a good community and people can enjoy them, because they are a very enjoyable fish. Starting to look pretty good in here though. Even though it's crowded, they get a lot of water change. And I have seen them start turning red in the belly and showing breeding colors. So Crebensis, really enjoyed that fish. Still enjoying. And these are my Labidochromys travassier, also known as a marmalade cat. And I believe these are, I cannot say the collection point because I was not told, but not red hongi. I forget the collection point, but I think I know what it is, but I can't say for sure. And these are yellow calvus, and the yellow calvus are doing really well. They're not as skittish as they used to be. Starting to put on some size finally. These guys over here, probably 2.5 inches. There are 6 total yellow calvus. Alright, so that's going to wrap it up. So I kind of showed you everything, not just my new pickups. But thanks for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you did, I would greatly appreciate the like, comment, subscribe. It helps my small channel immensely. And more to come. I got some videos in the works. So thanks for watching. Bye. I'm back. I didn't show you my living room tanks. Let's make it real quick. So this is my Oranda goldfish, and his name is Terrence, along with a bubble-eyed goldfish whose name is Puffy. My kids named them. And there's also a couple Siamese algae eaters in here, a big Raphael catfish, a blue crawdad named Carl, who's hiding in that cave, and a couple tetras, a Brichardi cichlid, and a coolie loach. There's some other stuff in here too. There's a guppy and a longfin danio. But this is just our living room tank that we kind of enjoy looking at and watching. And down here are our Julidochromys marleri. Apologies if I said that incorrectly. And these are our Cygnus. This is the Cygnus male. And I believe they are on eggs in this cave here. So this is my little Tanganyikan type setup. Seems to be working really well. I've bred a few fish in this tank. Pan around, these are new tanks. I apologize for the algae in this one, but it serves a purpose. This tank is packed full of, well, it's not packed, but is full of orange Neocaridina shrimp, which are going to be impossible to get on film here probably. But they're orange shrimp. Here's one. Bottom tank is Blue Dream Neocaridina shrimp. And they are hiding for the most part. But yeah, 2 different breeders, 2 different lines of Blue Dream Caridinas. What I heard is one line comes directly from L.R. Brett's. And I know he has award-winning shrimp, so I'm hoping to continue a really nice blue Neocaridina shrimp. And this is Bo. Bo's taking a nap. And shout out to Chris Gerzonix again for the awesome multis and shells that came with them. So these guys have been fun already. My kids really enjoy looking at them because they're such little baby fish. So multifasciatus. And in this tank are also blue Moscow guppies and Cyprochromys leptosoma blue neons, which they seem skittish. I put these rocks up to kind of make them feel at an angle. I heard that's helps them feel more secure and helps with breeding behavior, but I have not seen that. So I have some PVC pipes to act as caves that I can quickly remove, and there are some plecos in these caves as well as the snail escargot shells for the multifasciatus. So it's pretty neat. They got a little bit of brine shrimp today, and the multis were definitely interested in that. And down below is a 33-gallon long. Got a few plecos in here. They weren't supposed to even be in here, but they are. And some really poor looking Java fern, which I'm trying to grow back. Those plecos actually just hitched a ride. Some Ludwigia that I picked up at the auction. So I need to plant that and do a little research on the Ludwigia. But my wife really wanted to get into plants, so that's great. So we're trying to make this a planted tank. We just have a cheap Aquaneat light on top, but it's such a shallow tank, planted with good substrate. The name escapes me, but yeah, so we're just trying to do a few different types of plants in this tank. And there are actually 20 green jade shrimp in here, which look really nice. But you kind of have to stare hard at the tank to see them. The greens don't show up that good on a black substrate. There's one. I don't know what he's up to, though. But yeah, green jade shrimp. High quality line from Tom Berger. And yeah, so I have green shrimp, orange shrimp, blue shrimp, red shrimp, black shrimp. And I do enjoy them. And I have shrimp at work too to enjoy. So there's one more tank of blue Moscow guppies, and I will show you that here. Alright, this is the last tank in my house, blue Moscow guppies. And it is right next to, well, my wife's side of the bed right now, so she can watch the guppies as she sleeps. And they're doing really great. Plants are doing great in here. Started with about a quarter this amount of plant. And the Anubias is just taken off. I used the Aquarium co-op trick of super gluing it to the back of this little aquarium brick. And there's also some jungle valsinaria and Java moss and Java fern in here, as well as a few snails, and they seem to regulate themselves based on the amount of food in the tank. You can see some shells that are empty, as well as some snails that are thriving. And yeah, just a really fun, enjoyable tank. And it's just a little 10-gallon. So that's the last tank in the house. I hope you guys enjoyed the really not so short fish room tour video. Please like, comment, subscribe. It would my channel and I would appreciate it immensely. I'm sure it would help us grow. So take care, and more videos to come. Got some in the works. Bye.